If you smell what the rock is cooking. Okay, so you don't want to be like your narcissist. First of all, narcs always feel like they're above the process, and they'll color your perspective by acting like they're above the process and kind of taking over your life, taking over how you think. If you grow up in a household where people never talk about their feelings or something like that, and then you grow up feeling like, or you don't even ever even consider the fact that feelings are important, you know, just by them omitting that. Narcs can color your perspective and you pick up their blind spots. And anytime you think that you're above something, anytime you have any arrogance, because a lot of them are arrogant, and you pick that up, you're creating a blind spot for yourself. Um, and like I said, one is just thinking that you're above the process. You know, there's American culture that tries to say that how can I control how you feel? I can't make you feel sad. I can't make you feel a certain way. You have to control how you're in control of your own feelings. They have myths and perspectives and things that you pick up that aren't true. You know, you can make somebody feel a certain way. You can make somebody feel jealous. You can force them to feel jealous. It ain't their choice. You don't always have a choice of how you feel. That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things that you pick up from narcissists that's, nonsense, right? So, I mean, as an example, instead of thinking about the fact that you can control all of your urges, all of what you think throughout the day, you should go through the day and just recognize, as you're in a store and you see a display and you want to buy something, or when you do buy something that you went in the store to get one item and then you came out with the two different items or three different items, to think about that. It's not about controlling that necessarily, and all of this is about is learning more about yourself so that you can understand the people around you a lot better. And again, it starts with, instead of thinking like you're above anything. Here's an example. Like, I remember hearing a statistic that during 9/11, a lot of people went out and they spent more on alcohol, they spent more on fast food and things like that. And then most people, if they were to be asked if that's what they did, if they were affected by 9/11, I know me, I would say no. I mean, I was affected. I felt sorry for the people, but there's no way that really controlled how I felt or my actions all the way across the country, you know? But truth be told, if I really probably analyze all the moves I made, I probably did get affected. I probably was controlled by that situation to a degree, because all of America, all not just in New York, but all over the country, people's like consumer behavior changed, and people always think that they're above the process. They think that they're they can't be affected by certain things, and that's just American culture. But you got to start with assuming that everything does affect you. If you have a spouse, and people are like, well, they ask you when you first meet a dating partner, are you the jealous type? That right there, that right there, everybody's the jealous type. Period. And if you don't think you're a jealous person, then you don't understand that jealousy, all these emotions are just a part of the human condition. If you get set up in this position where you're supposed to be jealous, you're going to feel jealous. And that's just how it is. Now, of course, you grow up and kind of control it a little bit as you get older, but you'll never completely control it. Period. You'll never be able to do that. And narcissists and toxic people know that. They know that about you. You don't know that, because we're all a little bit arrogant. Arrogance is what makes you vulnerable. And you know what's very interesting is that I've seen narcissists like in a situation where a person would laugh or at their victim, at a narcissist victim, and then the narc almost takes offense to that. Like, I can do this to you too, right? They might even say something in that, almost slip that in, and the person who's laughing doesn't necessarily catch it, or they catch it, but they don't have a response for that. But but they try to slip it in a way that is not directly all the way admitting to it, almost said under their breath. So when somebody says that they're a bad person, or they have anger issues when you first meet them, you always believe them. But all right, so as far as reacting to your emotions, as you get older, you understand that you're able to control your emotions a little bit better because you have a bigger, stronger brain. I'm comparing being an older person versus being a child, so you start to be a little bit fooled by the fact that you think that this is all about maturity, until you get into the real world and you see that there's 80-year-old people who run around and they're jealous and they act like babies, and so it's also about just practicing it, practicing self control and things like that. It's about knowing that there's a limit to that too, because you can't control how you feel. Like, you'll be exhausted. There's just so many different things that happen to the point where, but there is a level of maturity to it, and then there's just a level of the fact that you're going to get tired, like physically tired throughout the day, and you aren't going to have enough strength to control yourself. But a lot of this stuff is very simple. It's as far as understanding other people, that it's very simple as A equals B, or A plus B equals C. A certain action, somebody talking to you in a baby voice or something like that, is going to elicit a feeling of, like you're a little kid, or, like you're belittled. There's never going to be a point in your life where you're not going to feel that. It's like almost a tool that people have at their disposal or disposal, and it's always going to be there. But it's one of those things where you can recognize that in other people too. So anytime you're in an environment at your job and you gain something, it could be something very small that's not insignificant to you, but you gained something and other people didn't. You can assume that they're jealous. There ain't no, I wonder if they're jealous. I wonder how they feel. I wonder, Susie's really mature, so she's probably not. For a moment, for however long, and for probably more than what you think, they are jealous. You know, A plus B always equals C. And that's all I have to say.